So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having here in the same session with the Decentralized Club and the Plugmate actually. And also today we will discuss more about like what is Plugmate and also their plan, their program, their utilities and everything. So you have to stay tuned this email till the end. And also, I can see you can invite your friends and family to be here. So I'd like to invite our owner speakers today. First of all, the Taz Singhs we have right now, the head of marketing, the Plugmate, and also we have Anurag. So guys, could you please introduce yourself first one by one, like, and could you share a bit about your experience in the crypto industry? So yeah, Anurag, you can go ahead first.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And it's a pleasure to be here today. So, my background almost 22 years in tech and in the crypto space for almost like the past 10 years, and been part of number of successful projects led to the launch, etc. And they're varied across different sectors within crypto and increasingly crypto plus AI. So, that's basically about me.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Happy to know. So back to Taz Singh. Sir, could you please introduce yourself first? Hello, are you there, Taz Singh?
Taj, I think you're on mute.
I don't know what's the problem. So, Taz, could you please rejoin? I think if there is any kind of problem.
Hello, hello.
All right, perfect. I think we got you. Yes, Taj, go ahead.
Go ahead right now. You're okay.
Yeah, I think you got muted again. If you unmute, I think I see you're
Oh,
muted.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's
Anurag.
okay.
How are you
Yeah,
guys?
just could you? Yeah, we are well. Just introduce yourself first, bit about like our community. They're just waiting to hear from you.
Yeah, guys. My name is Taj Singh. I'm a co-founder and head of marketing of Plugmate. We're based in Australia. And Anurag is the blockchain head, and Madan he's joining in a minute. He's a CEO. So it's good to have all of you here. Um,
Okay, yeah, thank you, Taz. So, yeah, Madden, can you hear me, Madden?
Yes, I can hear you guys loud and clear.
Okay, thank you for having here. So, yeah, could you please introduce yourself a bit and also could you share a bit about your experience in the crypto industry? It would be great, I think.
Excellent. Look, welcome everyone, and thanks for joining today's AMA. I'm sort of really excited to sort of explain Plugmate, what a unique and impactful project it is, and how we want to transform the world of EV charging with the help of a decentralized project like Plugmate. In terms of my experience, I've been through the crypto sort of growth right from 2012 onwards, and since then I've been sort of as an investor, as a very keen observer in the crypto and blockchain space. I've followed the space quite a long time. Recently, in the last few years, myself, Taj, and a few others based in Australia, we've actually looked at the growth of sustainable transportation options. And one of the biggest, movements in this space has been the growth of electric vehicles. And a key problem that we saw is in the adoption, or the problems with adoption is in the increase of charging infrastructure, or the lack of charging infrastructure. So we have since started the journey of trying to find solutions in how we actually enable different mechanisms to increase the charging infrastructure around the world. And Plugmate today, we will explain to you exactly how we want to go about doing that.
Okay, yes, got it. Thank you. Happy to know actually. So yeah, guys, they have their website. I already shared in our decentralized club. You can check this out, and like if you want to know more, just visit their website and social. So let's take some questions. So You already explained about the Plugmates, but I just want to know, like, how does your Plugmates crowdfunding platform work for EV charging structure, like infrastructure development actually? Like, what is the mission actually?
So I can take this, guys. Look, in terms of EV adoption, one of the biggest roadblocks is the charging infrastructure. We always find in a lot of places the growth of electric vehicle adoption itself is accelerating quite a lot, but the number of charging infrastructure that's publicly available is not matching the rate at which EVs are being sold. And this is sort of quite true around the world. Even in very developed countries like Europe, the rate of charges available per EV that's being sold is not matching what is actually required in real life. And the reason for this is quite a number of reasons. It's one of the biggest reasons, obviously, is funding, infrastructure, and energy availability in key areas. The other is also different government policies, and also in private enterprises, the return on investment and the value proposition is not there in all areas. So what we want to do at Plugmate is provide a decentralized crowdfunding platform which enables decentralized funding for creating charging stations and managing and sustaining charging stations around the world. Plugmate uses sort of smart contracts to hold funds until projects reach their goals, ensuring transparency and reducing financial risks. So yeah, this is pretty much a crowdfunding platform and a platform that enables growth of EV charging infrastructure.
If I may add to this, I think at a very basic level, think of it as a sort of equivalent to a DAO, not at this stage, eventually, where the community comes together, they decide on what location should a charger come up and what is the business plan for that, and then the community decides to fund that project. And once the project is funded and it starts to generate revenue, the proceeds of that partially start to go back to all the initial contributors to the project. So I think that in a nutshell is what we are trying to do, where we look at this global gap in the funding to support the infrastructure development by this crowdfunding mechanism.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, guys, like I can say, that is the Plugmate is a community-owned decentralized crowdfunding platform that aims to reshape the landscape of electric vehicle charging infrastructure actually. So yeah, thank you. But by the way, they have a lot of utilities. No worry, anyone can join. I think in the Plugmate, anyone can be part of this. So thank you for answering my question. So, like, what are the main benefits of using the blockchain technology for Plugmate crowdfunding model? Actually, why you are in blockchain?
Look, I can answer that. It's blockchain gives Plugmate a secure, transparent, and efficient way to manage funds and investor participation. So using blockchain, we create smart contracts that ensure funds are used properly, allowing investors to see how their contributions are allocated. This transparency builds trust, and while the decentralized structure of blockchain gives community members a real voice in the platform's future. So that's the benefit of using blockchain technology for Plugmate's crowdfunding model. Anything else, Madan, you can add?
Yeah, like Todd said, it's providing the transparency and providing an open ledger for every transaction that happens. Now we have multiple type of transactions. Obviously, one type of transactions is all the transactions that are related to crowdfunding a project, and this project could be about building a charging station in a remote location. So in order to do this, you probably need capital for buying the charging stations. You probably need land or lease of the land. You need energy. You may need installation costs and ongoing maintenance contracts, etc. So there is crowdfunding that is involved in funding all of these various different activities. And these all can happen through smart contracts and through an open ledger sort of a mechanism where all of this is very transparent. Now, apart from this, there are also ecosystem related activities that are happening. So in an EV charging network, you can see reliability of the charging network and the state of truth information on the availability of the charging infrastructure is quite critical. So any users that hold EVP token and they have a active participation in the ecosystem can actually contribute to the benefit of the ecosystem. They can provide reviews, they can say whether a charging station is available, working, etc. And for each activity they perform, it is also a transaction that's in the blockchain, and they get rewards as EVP tokens for actually participating in that. And all of that mechanism is made transparent and possible using the blockchain.
And I think I'll add to what Madan said. The critical component of any system, digital system today is the data, right? Elon Musk, with all the valuation that he has, I think end of the day, I think his intelligent machines are, ingesting all this data and using that to obviously build further models. And what we are doing is we are using the same set of data, which would be generated by our users, of course, with consent and other things. This would then be shared with various authorities for making certain decisions. So the data on charging pattern, data on a lot of other things. Of course, there's a proprietary information, and we can't talk a lot about that at this stage. But fair to say that this data, when it is shared, a lot of regulatory authorities and certifying bodies and a lot of other government agencies are able to make decisions. And when this data is coming through a secured ledger where it is tamper-proof, adds a lot of weightage. So the data hasn't been manipulated. Basis this, the policymakers are able to make decisions. And likewise, we are also using this for ad. So this would be used for placing ads where you want to place ads. So we'll have digital display ads at our stations. Again, this is driven by the data. So all of this, because it is coming from the blockchain, it is secure, it is 100% tamper resistant. Therefore, people are able to trust that, and they are able to make a lot of intelligent decisions based on that data.
So just one last point to add on that is, given this data is actually provided by the community, by the ecosystem, by people contributing to the ecosystem, we feel it's only fair for that data, whenever it's being used for other purposes, and the value we get out of the data is actually also redistributed to the same ecosystem. So that's where the EVP token comes in. You do the work, you contribute to the ecosystem, you gain tokens, and when the data is actually then sold or used by other third-party services, then the money that is generated through that process is also distributed through the EVP tokens to the community.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I think like one of the main reason integrating with the blockchain technology, like which will provide you the more security, more reliability. That's the reason. Thank you once again. Happy to know actually. So may I know actually how does your Plugmate ensure that the electric vehicle charging station founded through its platform that are accessible to a wide range of users actually? Like how can from different areas people can use this?
So in terms of charging stations being available for use of use for anyone everywhere, is there are a lot of existing protocols that are available that control and manage charging stations, and we use the normal protocols that are worldwide used. On top of it, what we are actually doing is we're creating an ecosystem that enables growth of this charging stations. So the main drawback on the current charging stations and where they're located, if you see, they're always located in densely populated areas, because that's where the biggest return on investment is, because the biggest usage of the charging stations are. This also means that in the middle of nowhere, where there's less number of people or less number of traffic, it is very hard for people to actually get EV adoption because there is no incentive for anyone to install charging stations there. So with the help of a global DAO and a crowdfunding platform that is specially focusing on EV infrastructure, we are able to match people that may have excess solar or a specific land that is very close to a highway that could be a really critical infrastructure spot, along with people that may not have any of those, but have excess funds that they can put into buying capital investment for EV chargers. So we bring those people together, we enable the smart contracts between them, and now enable a place where all of these different people can have access to EV charging infrastructure that they would otherwise have not had.
In addition to that, we are working closely with local communities and partners to place stations where they're most needed, like public spaces, highways, and underserved areas. And Plugmate using VVolt established VVolt. I just need to introduce you or VVolt as well. It's one of the biggest software provider in Australia. It's our other traditional business. So Plugmate using VVolt's established technology to plan and deploy charging stations strategically, ensuring they are accessible and easy to use. Well, so this approach helps us make EV charging available to as many people as possible.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the clarification once again. So people like get ready if you have any question and queries, make your own research. One more about the Plugmate actually. So let's talk about some of your token activities, like what is the role of community in Plugmate's platform and how can the local stakeholders participate?
So maybe I'll go. I think we probably covered a lot of that aspect earlier in the discussion, but I just say this. Community is basically front and center to this entire ecosystem. As I mentioned, this is basically a community-driven initiative. Of course, it's going to be semi-decentralized to begin with, but eventually we would plan to devolve more responsibilities to the community over the coming years. And the community participation is obviously through holding the EVP token, which obviously we are conducting the token sales as we speak. And so what happens is when you have those tokens, you are able to use them to get various kind of utilities on the platform. Chief being you are able to charge your EV at a discounted price using the tokens, and then you are able to use those tokens to do a lot of other things on the platform. So the role of the token is pretty central, and the holders or the stakeholders who are actually determining how the infrastructure grows and proliferates is all driven by these stakeholders who are holding the token, because they are the ones who are able to decide based on the tokens that they hold, because that is what gives them the voting authority or power to decide what should the future be of the platform.
Yeah, by holding EVP tokens, holders have to say in which projects to fund, where stations are located, and how profits are used. Like local stakeholders, like small businesses and government, they can partner with Plugmate to bring charging station in their areas. So it's benefiting both the community and the environment. It's just by holding the EVP tokens.
Okay, yep. Thank you once again. So here's the last question from introductory part. After that, I'll take some questions from the Twitter. So the last one is, how does your Plugmate address the traditional challenges in funding electric vehicle infrastructure?
So I guess the biggest hurdle in the current sort of environment is the lack of growth, and in some areas where people are holding back putting in infrastructure because they don't know the number of electric vehicles that will come there to charge. As I said before, the heavily sort of populated areas, it is fine, but in some of the areas where you have not had enough electric vehicles being sold, you're now waiting for infrastructure to catch up. Now, it's a bit of a chicken and egg problem, because where you don't have the infrastructure, people are reluctant to also buy EVs because they want to have infrastructure ready before they actually buy EVs. So the way the crowdfunding ecosystem is going to help is basically by enabling these areas to actually fund and invest in infrastructure, where they're bringing in people that may have excess solar or may have funding that they want to invest in sustainable transportation. And by bringing these together and creating a smart contract, we create an EV, we can pool capital for EV infrastructure projects. The funds are held and released, using a DAO or a semi or a controlled DAO in the first instance. But the community is basically driving and ensuring that the planning and empowering the local communities to prioritize and benefit the communities directly. And even the different stages of payments for the milestones are actually controlled by the DAO, and when the projects are being paid for the individual milestones.
Okay, yeah,
And I think
thank
if I
you.
would
Yeah, go ahead.
I can contextualize and add a few things, especially in terms of data. If you look at the various research, and depending on which one you sort of pick up, the numbers are like staggering. We're talking about $1.2 billion, $1.2 trillion to $2.7 trillion. That's basically the kind of difference we are talking in terms of the investment overall in the longer term. And that gap is huge in the next 5-6 years, and that's not going to be covered primarily just by governments or institutions. Others have to come in and contribute, and I think this is where Plugmate, being a pioneering technology, having taken this visionary leadership, because we are relying, as Taj was mentioning, on our existing business of VVolt, where we are providing this EV charging software platform for a fairly long time in Australia, and now in a number of other neighboring countries outside Australia. So I think leveraging that strength, and we spotted this opportunity where clearly there's a huge gap in terms of funding, in terms of the number of EV vehicles hitting the roads and the number of chargers which are sort of available for these EV vehicles is a huge gap. So I think, as I think Elon Musk used to say back in the day, it's not one company which probably is going to fill the gap. So I think we are definitely the first ones, but I think we need hundreds more like us to be able to fill that gap in different parts of the world. So I think we are taking the first step, and we are taking use of blockchain technology and some of the other things from AI to sort of take a leapfrog basis what we already have with VVolt.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for answering all of the questions from the introductory part. It's time to take some questions from the Twitter. First of all, I got about the tokens. So, what are EVP tokens and how they are used in your Plugmate ecosystem?
Look, EVP tokens, it's a Plugmate's native cryptocurrency which supports investments, rewards, and voting in our ecosystem. So investors can earn EVP tokens by contributing to charging projects and can use these tokens to gain rewards, participate in decision making, and share in platform profits, such as from charging fee and advertising revenue, and a few other things. Madan, anything else you can add with that?
Yeah, look, obviously it's a native utility token that we have for all aspects within the ecosystem, and there are multiple things that you can use the data that we collect. Over time, the data within the ecosystem will be the most valuable component, and the use of this data can also be utilized using the EVP tokens. Apart from this, you can also have the EVP tokens to reduce your fees that you need to pay for any charging related transactions. And it'll also help with any additional sort of revenue streams that we open up. The EVP token holders will always have a discounted, not only a discounted access to those features, but will also be gaining a reward share for any of the streams that bring in rewards.
Okay, yep, thank you. So people like you can collect their token, you can hold it for the long term, Nori. So how can investor benefit from participating in your Plugmate's crowdfunding initiatives?
So investors.
Go ahead, Madan.
Yes, so investors are, we will have different types of investors. Investors that invest in the capital of a charging station. There may be investors that bring in a lease of a land, or also even contribute to the installation costs. Now, overall, each charging infrastructure will have a revenue stream. So every time someone goes to charge there is a transaction, and there is a transaction of tokens that happen as whether the charging transaction itself can also happen in EVP tokens, or it can happen in a fiat currency, right? And whenever the fiat currency is used, or a stable coin is used, we will convert those to EVP tokens. And there will be situations where we are also using and earning funding from advertising those charging stations, and also doing lots of different data related activities that are gained from the charging stations. So for all of this, whoever's invested will have smart contracts, and they will be basically getting their portion of whatever the smart contract is based on their contribution to that contract. Anurag, do you want to add anything on top of it?
No, I think you've covered it all, Madan. Yeah.
I just want to add it. This structure provides investors not only financial but environmental rewards, as well as they contribute to a sustainable future. So this is the most important thing: not only financial but environmental rewards by holding EVP tokens.
Okay, guys, thank you for explaining about the crowdfunding initiatives. So here's a question about your security. I think which is very important to know. Like, as you know, for any project, security is the most vital element. So how does your Plugmate take to ensure transparency and security in fundraising process?
Right. So I think there are a number of things which obviously we are looking into. One is the entire funds collection basically is going through established intermediary, which is basically a custody solution. So the funds through our platform is basically getting deposited there, and they are the ones who are holding the funds, and they're the ones obviously who are conducting the KYC at the time of token transfer. So just to make it clear to the community, KYC is not the first step, but KYC would be needed when you are getting the token. So you'll have to get whitelisted. So this is the first step, and then of course the entire application security has been done through various credible agencies, and also these smart contracts have been audited. So the entire process, both internally as well as externally with established vendor, is all sort of secured.
Okay, yep, thank you once again. So as far I know, there are a lot of projects like you. They are also working with this kind of technology, like electric vehicles and charging system and the solar panels. So what sets your Plugmate apart from these other electric vehicle infrastructure funding platform? What you are different? Could you summarize once again?
Yes, so I think to the best of my knowledge, as I was explaining earlier, I think we are taking a leadership position. I haven't seen many platforms do what we are doing in the entirety. Obviously, there are businesses which are trying to tackle parts of what we are doing, but the way we are looking to connect the entire ecosystem, one on the charging software, and then the infrastructure, and then the data side, as I mentioned, where the data is again getting consumed and the users or contributors of the data are getting benefits of contributing the data, but then that data is going to policymakers and they are able to use the data. So anybody who is able to connect this holistically, this is the kind of business that we are in, and I haven't seen many businesses do this entire thing.
So there is this bit of analogy that I often use. If we had the opportunity to go back sort of 70, 80 years, and if any one of us had funds and we wanted to, if we were all given an opportunity to, put up a fuel station in a really good location, we would have all jumped on it without even thinking twice, knowing what, we have fuel stations everywhere. I think this is the opportunity of tomorrow that we have today, where the exact same analogy is possible. You could now, as community with Plugmate, open up this chance for anyone living anywhere around the world have the opportunity to open up their own electric fuel station, right? Anywhere they want. And Plugmate's enabling even the small investors to compete with the bigger networks and the bigger players, so that you can actually be the provider of electric energy for the future electric cars. If 80% of the cars are going to be electric in the future, and then we would need a lot of EV charging infrastructure around the world.
Okay, yeah, thank you once again. So I can take some questions from the community. I can see a few hands there. So Shimanto, right there. Hey, Shimanto. Hey, Shimanto, are you there? Could you please ask your question? Almonim. Hey, Almonim, are you there? Okay, I think the network issue, Nori. I'll take. Okay, so just let's talk about your future development plan. Yeah, Almomin, are you there?
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, Salman.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. My question is, ambassador play a very important role in every project. Do you have an ambassador program? Thank you.
Yes, Salman. We have an ambassador program, and there is a Google form where we ask anybody who requests for that. So I think reach out to us, and we'll share the details of the program, and you can fill in the details, and we'll get back to you.
Okay, yep, thank you. So just give me a minute to find out something. No worry. So people just raise your hands if you have any question and queries. So yeah, like Earl, may I know about your future development plan for now? Like until I find anyone, do you have any future development plan like for the 2025 or after that?
Hello.
Hello guys, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, it's Shimanto. Yeah, ask your question, please.
Okay. My question, what's your mission and vision of your project? Hello.
Hello. Yeah, sorry. I think I was speaking to myself. I was on mute. Yeah. So I
My
think what I was
question
saying
is,
is, I heard your question,
what's your
Samantha. So I
mission
think
and vision of
Oh
your
yeah,
project?
Shimanto, like yeah, he's
yes,
answering
yes,
just to
yes.
it.
Yes, thank you for that question, Samantha. So what I was saying is our vision or mission, I think it needs to be further crystallized as we speak. But I think broadly speaking, it is definitely to be amongst the top three in the world providing EV charging infrastructure sort of ecosystem where people would use the platform to fund and establish the chargers in different locations which are underserved or not served for a variety of reasons.
Shimanta, hope that you got your answer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, yep, thank you once again. So let me find out more one. And also, guys, if you have any question, you can type in our decentralized club actually right there. No worry, I'll take from there. Thank you. So yeah. So like, do you have any plan like listing in different exchanges in future in your token, or where can people get your token right now?
Yeah, so since this is pre-sale, so I think the place to get the tokens is through a platform, as I was explaining. You could visit our website, plugmate.io, and from there you would be directed to be able to buy the tokens. And as I was mentioning, the funds are handled by a custody solution provider, so it's secured at that level, and then likewise KYC is done by another party, so the data is managed separately. So I think that's how we are running the campaign in terms of the tokens at this point. Once the campaign concludes, then we are in talks with number of leading exchanges at this point, and I think there's been a keen interest in number of tier 1 exchanges as well, given our background with VVolt, the parent company in EV, which has been in existence for now almost 2.5, 3 years, providing business services within Australia and now a number of neighboring countries. So using that background and credibility, there are a lot of positive discussions with number of leading exchanges at this point, tier 1, and then of course numerous tier 2. So I think that's where we'll be listing along with number of decentralized platforms.
Okay, yep, thank you. Wish you good luck for the future. So people, if you have any question and query, just go to their social and you can ask there. I already shared the Telegram link in our decentralized club community. So I think we are enough for now. So we have to wrap the session, but I think we covered actually everything. But do you have anything else that you want to share with us before wrapping the session, like any closing remarks or any statement or any advice for our community?
Yeah, I mean, as Madan was mentioning, I think this, this might sound like, we be boasting or cliche, but I feel this is once in a lifetime opportunity, given the way EV is expanding and given we are at the cusp of something, and also the fact that we have deep expertise and background in what we have done. We have a very strong business, which is Web2, and now using that same business, we are getting into Web3, expanding the service offering. So it's a very well established value proposition. There's a keen interest from a number of VCs at this stage, and I think what we are trying to do is sort of push the venture
Hello
investing at
guys,
this
are you
point
there?
to a... Hello, are you able to hear me? Hello?
Yes, Anurag.
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yes, keep going.
Oh, okay. So what I was saying is, I think the
Yeah, I
VC
just asked
investing
for
part.
about like, do you have any any closing remarks or anything else that you want to share with us before wrapping this session?
Yes, are you able to hear me, Elliot? Hello?
Elliot, can you
Hello?
hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear you. Yeah. Do you hear me?
Okay, like I just asked for like, do you have any closing remarks or anything else that you want to share with us before wrapping this session?
Madan, are you, I think she is able to hear you. Do you want to go ahead and just say a few things? I think
I
what I
think
do
we
want to...
lost your other team members.
Okay.
No,
Um,
Madan is
So,
there.
so
Madan,
I'm
yeah.
here. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay. Anurag was talking, but for some reason you're not able to hear him. But in terms of a closing remark, what I would say is, at Plugmate, we really want to empower communities worldwide, to drive the future of sustainable transportation. And we want to do it by democratizing investments in electric vehicle infrastructure. And we think, like what Anurag said before, we don't believe that a single government entity or a major corporation can do what is required to fill this gap by throwing in money. It is a collective effort. The community needs to be involved, and that is why we are opening up the Plugmates ecosystem, where community can get involved and create something special.
Definitely. So thank you guys for having here for your time. And I'd like to say that it's our community members. Just go to the social and join, and also follow their Twitter if possible, and invite your friends and family to be part of this great project. So thank you, everyone. I can see here is Finny. Hey, Finny. Okay, I think there's some kind of network issue, don't know. So, yep, thank you, Maran, and thank you, Anurag, for your time. Wish you good luck for the future.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Elliot. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.